House will come to order. Members-elect, please take your seat.
May we pray. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod. Felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. Sovereign God, eternal God, we stand in awe of your presence, for in you we live, we move, and we have our being. We ask your blessings now upon this House of Delegates and all who serve this body in this hallowed chamber. Grant each of them a daily measure of fresh grace. Cause them to be still and know that you are God. We offer our humble gratitude for the gift of freedom we enjoy, and we commit our future as a nation and as a state into your hands. Your wisdom is beyond the scope of our finite understanding. We know in the midst of this time, you have kingdom purpose. Nothing that is happening is a surprise to you. You see the end from the beginning, and you are at work in ways we cannot see. Guide the direction of every elected leader in this chamber. Give them divine wisdom to lead and unify this great state. We are facing immense challenges and great political divisions. We pray they will put their personal agendas aside and work together to bring our state toward peace and prosperity. Give each of them the prophetic mantle of Michael and inspire our lawmakers to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. Make them strong and courageous to do your will on behalf of your people. We commit our state and our nation into your hands. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members, I apologize. Members, please remain standing as the colors of the United States of America are retrieved by the Division of Capitol Police. Retire the colors.
Colors, present arms. Colors, order arms. Retrieve colors.
Members may be seated. Members-elect, please be advised that the House Clerk's Office received from the Virginia Department of Elections notifications that, pursuant to Section 24.2-679 of the Code of Virginia, meetings of the Board of Elections were held to examine the official abstracts of votes from the general election held on November 7th, 2023, and subsequent recounts of certain election results pursuant to Section 24.800 at SEEK. The results of the elections and recounts confirm that each member seated here today was duly elected a member of the Virginia House of Delegates for a 2-year term beginning the second Wednesday of January 2024, and has received from the Department of Elections a certificate of election pursuant to Section 24.2-673, all of which are on file upstairs in the House Clerk's office. Members, please also be advised that pursuant to Article 4, Section 7 of the Virginia Constitution, providing that the House of Delegates, quote, shall judge of the election qualifications and return of its members, unquote, I am pleased to report the following. In a special election to fill the vacancy of the 48th House of Delegates District, which occurred on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, it has been determined that Eric J. Phillips received a majority of the votes cast and is accordingly present today to be sworn in and seated as a newly elected member of the Virginia House of Delegates. Members-elect, you will find on your desk the oath of office, which need to be signed today, and we'll come back to that in a bit. Members-elect, will you please answer the roll call by indicating your presence on the electronic voting board? Yeah. I am pleased to advise the House that a quorum is present. Without further ado, members-elect, are you ready to take your oath of office? Members-elect, please rise. Please rise, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge all duties incumbent upon me as a member of the Virginia House of Delegates, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. I also come to order. The next order of business is the election of the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates. Nominations are now in order. The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Torian.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I rise to nominate Delegate Don Scott of Portsmouth as our next Speaker of the House of Delegates. I want to take this moment to thank Don's wife, Dr. Miranda Colson Scott, his daughter, Peyton, and his mother, Miss Helen, for being with us today and for giving to this House, Delegate Don Scott. Delegate Scott has served his country. He served in the United States Navy. Delegate Scott understands the redemptive power of God. Delegate Scott is a successful attorney in his area of Portsmouth. Delegate Scott worked tirelessly to make sure, and this is not a crack at anyone, but he worked hard to ensure that we got the majority in the House. I want to take a moment and just talk a little about history. 4 years ago, when we were in this chamber, we elected the first Jewish female to serve as Speaker of the House, Delegate Eileen Fillicorn. Four years later, we have come back to this chamber to make history one more time, to elect for the first time in the Commonwealth's history, the first African American to serve as Speaker of the House. It is my hope that all of us as Virginians will have an appreciation for history. For over 400 years ago, people who looked like Delegate Scott gave of their sweat, blood, and tears to help build this Capitol. And I would say that it is probably only right and fitting and appropriate that 400 years later, a person of color, an African American, not only whose ancestors helped to build this Capitol, now stands to help lead this House of Delegates. It is only fitting. And it is my hope and my prayer that all of us as Virginians have a great appreciation for who we are as citizens of Virginia, and that all of us, if we work hard, if we dedicate ourselves, if we commit ourselves, we have the right and the privilege to lead the legislative body of the Commonwealth of Virginia here in the House of Delegates. So I pray that it is a proud moment for all of us as we nominate Delegate Don Scott as our next Speaker of the House.
The delegate from Botetourt, Delegate Austin.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I rise to second the nomination for my friend Don Scott. It is an honor to second the nomination on this historic occasion for the gentleman from Portsmouth to serve as the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates. Each of us has been entrusted to serve in this historic body and to work together to address the needs of all Virginians. I'm confident that Don Scott can bring us together to do just that. The election of my friend from Portsmouth, the first African-American Speaker of this body, is a historic moment in our 405-year history. And it is only fitting this moment come as our nation embarks upon its 250th anniversary. And we as Virginians celebrate our role in the birthplace of America. My friendship with Don has grown. I've come to know him as a professional who approaches issues with a persuasive, calm, methodical, and persistent manner. and always with a smile. Delegate Scott, I know you will be a fair and strong speaker. Even when we don't see eye to eye on policy, I firmly believe through your leadership, we will work together with the best interest of all Virginians. Personally, I value our friendship, and I thank you for the opportunity to be part of this moment. Relationships will always overshadow partisan differences. And now, in renewing my second to the motion, I ask that this legislature come together and work collectively to advance the opportunities and qualities of life for the citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia, starting with the election of Delegate Don Scott, Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates. Thank you.
Are there further nominations? Hearing none. I declare that the nominations are now closed. All those in favor of Don Scott to be Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates shall indicate such on the electronic voting board. Please close the roll. I declare Don Scott duly elected Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates. The following members are appointed to escort the Speaker-elect to the Speaker's rostrum to receive the oath of office. Delegates Sickles, Delaney, Helmer, Munden King, Austin, and Coiner. Back to the chamber. Members may be seated. The oath of office, members, please be seated. The oath of office will now be administered by the Honorable S. Bernard Goodwin, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Virginia.
Okay. You the boss.
Speaker Designee Scott, are you prepared to take the oath of office?
I am.
Please raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible. Please repeat after me. I, Don Scott,
I, Don Scott,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates
as Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Speaker.
Good afternoon, Virginia. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. My first immediate emotion is just gratitude. Very grateful. I know this is God's favor. I know this is God's grace, which is undeserved favor. And I'm grateful. I want to thank my family, especially my wife, Melanda. Wife, stand up. She thinks she's my mini campaign manager. She thinks I haven't won an election without a Peyton. Stand up, Peyton. My little 15-year-old daughter. So y'all, real talk. Without them, I wouldn't be here. You all know it when you serve that we couldn't do any of this without our family, without them allowing us to be away. Countless hours, countless nights, people pulling you in different directions. Town meetings, council meetings, committee meetings. We know that, commissions. So we want to thank our families. And first of all, let me congratulate all of the new delegates that are here. Congratulations. I want to say thank you to all of your families as well, because I know they made huge sacrifices for you to be here today. And we don't ever want to forget those sacrifices. I'm trying not to do them. Y'all keep cool here. Because my mother is here, Helen Scott. She's in a chair, but she can't. Raise your hand, Helen Scott. Just raise your hand. Y'all don't understand. My mother's 88. Y'all don't understand. I owe her. I'm gonna make her sit in here for a little while because she used to make us go to Sunday school, her choir rehearsal, church, Baptist training union after church. What you gotta go to church after church for? And then back to church on Wednesdays, and then some more choir rehearsal. And then she was like the singer, lead singer in the choir. She was the soloist, so I gotta listen to some more singing. Then when I go home, she's singing some more. And she's tough, y'all. I gotta honor her today. She was orphaned as a child. She raised 6 children by herself. I said, tell her, don't worry, God is my father, and he would take care of us. So I know I'm a little soft right now, but I'm really tough. And I got that toughness from her. She used to make my brother and I, she had to work, y'all. She had a couple of jobs. So we thought it was normal that kids got dropped off in front of the library before the library opened and then got picked up in the evening after the library had closed. But we knew, one thing she knew, we were going to be able to read and read well, and we do. Thank you, Mom. I think the other strong woman in my life, my wife, Dr. Melinda Colson Scott. Y'all, she was a dentist teaching at the University of Pennsylvania when I met her. I was struggling. Some of y'all know my story. I'd really just come out of jail, real talk. And she looked at me and didn't see anything that the world sees. She looked at me and saw her aspiration, her husband, her friend, her confidant. Thank you. Thank you. When I was at my lowest, you looked at me and you saw me exactly where I'm standing right now. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank my friend and mentor and confidant, Chairman Torian, for all of his support, and most importantly, for nominating me to be here. Thank you, Chairman Torian. I'm about to tell a secret that I promised that I would keep, but I'm about to tell it. Delegate Austin, Terry Austin, a few years ago, I was going to Texas for aunt's funeral during COVID. I'm coming back from, I'm going through the airport in Hobby Airport in Houston, and I see Delegate Austin, and I yell out, Delegate Austin, Terry. And like he always does, he ignored me. But thank God his wife was with him. And like most of our wives that protect us from ourselves, she said, Terry, and looked back and pointed at me. And so he came over and we spoke and we hugged and we talked. And from that point on, we've had, a great friendship and relationship. And I know folks don't believe that civility and cordiality can exist across the aisle, but I'm telling you it can. Because we have a great relationship. And I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart for standing in for me today and taking my nomination. I appreciate it. Thank you. So I want to just let y'all know everything that I learned in this house about fighting for what you believe in and being a leader. I learned from watching Delegate Todd Gilbert, the former speaker and now minority leader. He is a tenacious fighter. Y'all are all gonna cringe when he step up to speak, so just get ready. He used to make me do it too. Y'all give it up for my friend Todd Gilbert. Up until this point, he has made my transition very easy. I'm sure that will stop some today. I'm grateful and thankful to my colleagues for the trust that you have placed in me to lead this august body. The historic nature of my speakership is not lost on me. This will be the first time in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia that we have had a speaker who was as intelligent as this and as handsome as this. No, what y'all laughing at? It's true. No, let me stop. But it's an honor and a privilege to be elected by my peers as the first Black Speaker of the House of Delegates. 405 years after the founding of the longest continuous democratic elected body in the Western Hemisphere. Also, coincidentally, 405 years after the first enslaved people arrived here. Not far from where we stand, down the road in Hampton Roads. So I know I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me. And there's something about being the first to do something. I think about the folks that I look up to personally who never got this opportunity, who I still count as friends, who are brilliant. Forgive me, but they are legislators, former legislators, they're jurists, they're now colleagues and peers. And they served in this body, African Americans. People like Kenny Alexander, former delegate, senator from Norfolk, and Yvonne Miller, former delegate, fierce fighter, and senator from Norfolk. I think about former delegate Gerald Jones and my predecessor and mentor and friend from Portsmouth, now Circuit Court Judge Delegate Ken Melvin. All of these guys were brilliant. All of these ladies were brilliant. Yet they never had the opportunity to stand where I stand now. In fact, Judge Melvin told me he never even fathomed getting the opportunity to stand where I'm standing now. So I don't take this for granted. I've spoken to many of them over the little while. And one of the things that stood out to me was about all of them is the heart that they had, the integrity that they had, the care for the communities that they had. And I hope to be able to emulate that. So I know I stand on the shoulders of giants. I can't even imagine what it must have been like for Doug Wilder, first Black governor of Virginia, 1989. Or Fergie Reid, the first Black person elected to the General Assembly since Reconstruction. Or George Tioma, who was elected during the Reconstruction to the General Assembly. He's a Black man from Portsmouth. And he was a Republican. And every time I look around this room, I do see this. I see the ghost of those people who worked here, those Black folks who were enslaved here, whose dignity and humanity was discounted right here in this room. I see those people. And I know we, not just I, we carry their hopes and dreams and their posterity. I carry it in my heart. I think about all of the people who never got their rights heard by people sitting in this chamber. Thank God the Commonwealth has turned the page. Thank God. I can imagine how proud they would be to see all the people who are now serving in this chamber looking back at me from different backgrounds, different faith traditions, different races and ethnicities, and so many other things and differences that make our Commonwealth so very rich. And talk about diversity. I have a very unique story myself. Some of you know it, some of you don't, but Google me, as the kids say. 30 years ago, I went to federal prison. I did an 8-year sentence. Almost 8, 7 years, 8 months, who's counting? And I'm in awe of how awesome God is. It was 30 years ago. Now I'm standing here today. And I remember people, some who were in rooms like this telling me my life was over. I would never be what I thought I would be. I would never be what I thought I could be. But y'all didn't know I had a secret weapon. I had that woman over there who would come and see me and talk to me and send me letters and send me books and tell me that I was who she thought I was and who God said that I was. And she would tell me and remind me that I was God's beloved, with whom he was well pleased, regardless of current circumstance. And I had this praying grandmother and these praying aunts and these fake aunts who I always thought they tell me what to do like they was my aunts. and they would wrap their arms around me. I had these women who not only prayed for me and took care of me and during the times that I was away, but when I came home, I had one aunt, Juice. She would pick me up at 5 a.m. to make sure I got to work on time every day. Commitment, 5 a.m. every day. Get me to work, get me back, because I didn't have a car at the time. There are those who will tell you that you should be defined forever by a mistake. I'm here to tell you, do not believe them. God's grace and mercy is sufficient. Duty, honor, country. I take those words very seriously, as I know many of you do. We have some great veterans here that serve in this body. You also may not know I was a former naval officer. I often think about the sacrifices that those in uniform make every day in foreign lands and in hostile situations. They raise their right hand and they take an oath to put themselves in harm's way. And their families many times don't know not only where they are, but when they'll return. And we speak now. As we speak right now, there are men and women who are standing watch all over this nation. Please, as you serve, do not forget them. Do not forget them. The decisions that we make here are going to make sure that they come back to a country that has freedom and democracy for which they fight for overseas. Do not forget them. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about us. So y'all know this. Like, y'all know the Senate's Democrat last session and the House was Republican. So everything that we got done last year, it was bipartisan. Oh my God. It works. We can do it again. And y'all know, because I've been in a couple of fights, Leader Gilbert, we know how to count. We're in a 51-49 body, right? So if we want to get anything done, we're going to have to get it done together. We got a Republican governor, got 51 over here, 49 over here, 21 and 19 over there. Can't get much closer. Got to be able to count, got to be able to get some things done. Y'all who have been here for a while probably know this, but 80% of the things we vote for, they uncontested. It's boring. Hit the button because it's uncontested. It's all good ideas. Newsflash. Every great idea ain't on the Democratic side, and every great idea ain't on the Republican side. Great ideas come together. Sometimes they start out as a bad idea, become a great idea, and we fix them and we do it together. So I'm looking forward to working with everybody to continue that journey. This is what I promise as Speaker. I will allow debate. I will try to promote civility, no matter how invested we all are in the outcome, no matter how vociferous it may become. And sometimes we all get emotionally attached to some stuff. And that's good. That's why we were elected, because we care. That's why we were elected. So I would just not be the Speaker of the Democrats, and I will not just be the opponent of the Republicans, but I will be the Speaker of the House of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you. Now let's see how this works. The next order of business is the election of the clerk of the Virginia House of Delegates. Nominations are now in order. Oh, the delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'm so glad I get to be the first one to say it. Mr. Speaker, I rise to nominate G. Paul Nardo to be clerk of the Virginia House of Delegates. Now we all know Paul, who's been and is very ably served the House clerk for this chamber for 12 years now. Throughout his tenure, Paul has brought competency and continuity to this very important legislative body and into his position. He understands the legislative process and truly loves this remarkable institution, and it shows. By his tireless dedication, hard work, thoughtful guidance to every member, and his yes, you can do it attitude and encouragement, Paul has treated every one of us with respect and civility, regardless of the region we represent, the seniority that we have, or the party to which we belong. No matter how heated the moments can get or busy the day is, a clerk that is poised, purposeful, and personable. That's what we need, and that is G. Paul Nardo. He smiles freely, he enjoys a good laugh with anyone, and he really makes it his business to go along with people. Beyond of all the constitutional, statutory, and other advice he provides us, he's always appreciated our spirits, and we appreciate his kind spirit. Mr. Speaker, our clerk is a true servant leader who leads an awesome nonpartisan House clerk staff of talented and trusted professionals who make this place run smoothly. And yes, they help us look good. We know that the services that the House Clerk's Office provides to us all is excellent, and each of one of them are exemplary. So for all these reasons, Mr. Speaker, and there are many more, I'm delighted to nominate G. Paul Nardo to continue to serve as the clerk of the House of Delegates. Thank you.
The delegate from Shenandoah, Delegate Gilbert.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of seconding the nomination of G. Paul Nardo.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. And there's very little I can add to the apt and eloquent description that Leader Herring provided of our friend G. Paul Nardo. I will add, I've known Paul a very long time. I've known him through the service of previous speakers and how he ably served in that capacity. From my perspective, the one thing I can share is, it's all a question of perspective for so many of us. I had the unique opportunity to see how he serves this body with professionalism, with that consummate dignity, that attention to detail. And when I say attention to detail, you all know all the little things you ask Paul Nardo to do that you're a little embarrassed when you ask it. I probably had 2 or 3 this week that I said, can you fix this very little thing? No matter what it is, whether it's Paul or his able staff, the best in this nation, Mr. Speaker, the clerk staff. Other clerks' staff around the country learn from ours routinely, Mr. Speaker, and that's one of the proud moments for we Virginians. But, Paul answers that call every day, and without regard to party, without regard to seniority, without regard to any other status or anything, he may harbor his own thoughts about particular members, but he serves everybody the same. And that is the mark of a true professional. And so it is my high honor today to second the nomination of Paul Nardo for clerk of the House of Delegates and keeper of the rolls of the Commonwealth.
Are there further nominations? Hearing none, I declare that nominations are closed. All those in favor of G. Paul Nardo to be clerk of the Virginia House of Delegates shall indicate such on the electronic voting board. We better get him back in here to fix it. The clerk will close the roll. Yeas 100, nays 0. I declare G. Paul Nardo duly elected clerk of the Virginia House of Delegates. The clerk will announce the committee to escort the clerk-elect to the clerk's rostrum to receive the oath of office.
The Speaker appoints the following members to escort the clerk-elect to the clerk's rostrum. Delegates Herring, Delegate Tran, Delegate Willett, Delegate Glass, Delegate Gilbert, Delegate Batten, Delegate O'Rourke, and Delegate O'Quinn. Yeah, I think he does it. I think he's going to do it here in his file.
The oath of office will now be administered by the Honorable S. Bernard Goodwin, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Virginia.
Mr. Nardo, are you prepared to take the oath of office?
I am, sir.
Please raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible. Please repeat after me. I, G. Paul Nardo,
I, G. Paul Nardo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that I will
States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of
and
Virginia,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as clerk of the Virginia House of Delegates
as clerk of the Virginia House of Delegates
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming over here. Can I get your autograph one more time? Do you want a different pen this time? Or, can you use that one?
Whatever works for you.
There you go.
Except this doesn't work for me. All right, got it.
There you go. Yes, sir. Okay, great. Thank you.
The clerk will report a resolution.
House Resolution Number 10, establishing the rules of the Virginia House of Delegates for the 2024-2025 sessions of the General Assembly of Virginia.
He said there are. The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move the adoption of the resolution and speaking to that motion.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want the members to know the rules are pretty much the same as the 2022-2023 rules, but there are some changes, and I'm going to briefly go through them. There was an addition to Rule 6. Rule 6C was added just to reflect custom and practice that we will count the seniority of members who are returning the years that they've had and returning, or if they served in the other body, in determining seniority for this chamber with office assignments and seating. Then we have another rule change, which is Rule 16. The name of two committees were changed. Commerce and Energy is changed to Labor and Commerce, and then Health, Welfare Institutions was changed to Health and Human Services. And then Rule 75 was revised to add the requirement that a governor's recommendation be agreed to must receive the same recorded vote as required to pass the bill itself. And it's bringing it back to what this chamber had as its rule back in 2018. And with that, oh, actually, there's a little bit more. Rule 84, we just changed the reference to the old office building, Pocahontas, to the General Assembly building now that we are in our new building. And yeah, I know, right? And there's some minor technical changes. And I apologize if the line's not correct, but basically line 88, around in that area, there was a 2/3, and we just spelled it out, a 2/3 for consistency's sake in the rules. And then around line 55, there's an apostrophe added to days. So it's 3 days working notice. I hope that's not too contentious. And then morning hour is capitalized throughout the rules. So with that, Mr. Speaker, again, I move the adoption of the resolution.
Shall the resolution be agreed to?
I love this place. You need to stretch your vote. We'll mark you down, yeah. We'll mark you down.
The clerk will close the roll. I'm so used, I was about to run down there and vote.
The Speaker, ayes 100, no 0. Keep the vote.
Ayes 100, no 0. The resolution is agreed to. Delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring will advise the Senate from the House of Delegates that the House of Delegates is organized and ready to proceed with business. The House will be at ease.